It's always a pleasure to speak with you. And before I say anything else, not just thank you for your friendship, but you've done a lot for me in the past. And I've always appreciated you've given me breaks on things that I never thought I would have a chance to either be at or speak to or whatever else. And I just want to say right off, thank you so much for those opportunities, my friend.
It's always been my pleasure. Very
And not just that, the fact that I just recently had a birthday and I celebrated it at your facility. And I got to tell you something, man. It was an amazing experience. And for folks who don't realize what I'm talking about, you, sir, have a new restaurant. What is that, please?
Yeah, we have a new Italian boutique styled restaurant called Quadro on College Street in Little Italy. We opened it about a year ago, almost same date as your birthday, and we've been going ever since.
Now, for folks who don't realize, like I said, you've been in this part of the industry for many years. Talk a little bit about your background because, like I said, if there's anybody who's going to be successful at doing something like this, it's definitely you, sir.
Well, I grew up in the food business with my grandfather and father being in the produce business. Started off in the early years as a dishwasher and busboy and waiter and manager, and continued to grow in my field. And owned many successful restaurants of my own, and then developed many of Toronto's finest restaurants over the last 15 to 20 years.
So, what made you decide? I mean, a lot of people might turn around and go, "This is crazy. We have a pandemic. Things are shutting down. Here you are opening up. What made you decide to take this kind of a chance?"
Well, an old friend, Joe Mimran from Club Monaco, Joe Fresh, the Dragon, is reached out to me during the pandemic in late 2020 and asked if I'd like to do something with him, and of course I would. Just wasn't sure what he was talking about till he said restaurants, and I'm like, well, you were the smartest man I've ever met up until now. I don't know why you'd want to get into it. You've been so fortunate in your business life, and it's one of the hardest businesses, probably similar to retail. So that was sort of it, and that was the starting of the conversation. And then we decided to, he's a brand builder as well as an entrepreneur, and I'm a restaurant developer and operator. So he said, well, let's build a restaurant brand and company. So that's Quadro on our college is the first of. We're looking at two other locations at the moment, and we'll expand from there. But a little slower than we expected to expand, but more on an organic scale, seeing what the markets have been, and now we're at that stage where we're ready to go.
Let's talk about Quadro because, like I said, it's amazing. Let's talk about as soon as you get through the front doors, what do we see, and talk about the experience as we move along.
So the idea with Quadro was to find a nice mid-scale boutique-styled restaurant with a very simplistic menu. It's not a large read. When you read the menu, I've been involved with so many gastronomic properties over my life, and felt that like I just want to do something very simple and clean and tasty, and priced in a good a sweet spot where almost anybody can afford it. So we thought that that's a good sort of recession-proof as well as pandemic-proof property going forward, and it's something that you can build out in many areas of the city that don't take necessarily a lot of high maintenance for somebody to operate on their own in a franchise sort of setting in the future.
So we go walk through the doors and we see there's a seating area because there's a couple of different areas in this, aren't
Right.
there?
Right. So you off the street level, we have a little riser area with big open doors to the street onto College Street. A small patio on the front, just
Hmm.
for visual. And then we have a beautiful bar on the right side with four stools, very quaint. Indoor seating's about 48 seating, so small style indoor. We have a wood burning pizza oven, an open kitchen concept. And you walk through the back. Yeah. You walk through the back to the patio, and we have a 50-seat garden patio in the back that's, almost like built out like an indoor space, but out in the open air with tropical trees and colorful fabrics and beautiful lighting. So it's a little oasis on College Street, and I built it to make it feel a little bit, LA, a little bit Miami, and or Tuscany, wherever you feel that you want to be, but you wouldn't know where you are once you sat in the back that you're sitting here on College Street, and that was sort of the idea, and the idea going forward in the other locations that we do develop. We'll have a large presence of exterior space that are really beautifully built out, and so we're excited about that. In Toronto, we know we get 3 months of summer, and nobody wants to sit indoors in most cases. So we realize that we need to build locations that have patio access on a large scale.
And for folks who might be worried about getting close with people and stuff, I found it was perfect because where you have your plant areas and stuff, it separates people. Everything's separated enough so that you can feel safe and have a good time. Also, do you have, I think you kind of mentioned it to me and I could be wrong. Is there an upstairs area that's going to be opening up?
Yes, we do. We have an upstairs, same footprint as the main floor, a large bar, private washroom, separate entrance off College Street. Seats about, up to about 40 people with a reception area, or you can do a standing party for 70, 75 people and not interfere with downstairs or anybody interfering with you. So we've done many of those. We're just fine tuning it a little more, adding banquettes and some new drapery, but it is quite a beautiful space. And as people get back to hosting smaller corporate events or family events, like we really feel we'll get a lot of traction in the space.
Servers, they're amazing. And what they are providing for us, the menu and the food, amazing. What are some of the signature dishes that we have? Because, like I said, I loved everything that I had.
Well, I think when Joe and I were doing the tasting in the beginning, it was really about the pizzas. So it was a pizza pasta restaurant that has evolved a little bit with a more extensive wine list. But the sourdough crusted dough that we use for our pizza was after about 100 tastings of different dough combinations, and then finally with this gorgonzola fig white pizza with the dough and balsamic vinegar and honey. That seemed to be the component of the dough that we wanted, and we said, okay, that's the dough. That's a signature pizza, and that's the dough we'll use for all our pizzas because it's light, it's airy, it's still crispy. It gets beautiful blistering in the wood oven. So we really focus on the pizzas, and that the pizza becomes a meal, and it's not necessarily about a sharing of a pizza. It's about sitting down and saying, "Oh my God, like this is beautiful." So we tried to take that approach to our pizzas in the restaurant and offer, I think, 6 or 7 different versions of pizzas. Another one is a hot honey pepperoni pizza. So a little bit of honey, a little bit of bomba spice, beautiful crispy pepperoni, and the same beautiful homemade tomato sauces and the crispy dough. So, and then we have our pastas, the cacio e pepe with a malfadine noodle. It's a very traditional Italian dish, but can so easily be not made well. It's a creamy, cheesy, peppery, buttery pasta, and the malfadine noodle is like a wavy fettuccine noodle or a ribbon noodle, which helps the cheese and the sauce stick to the noodle. We do a wild boar gnocchi. So all our pastas are homemade. We have some gluten-free option when it comes to pasta. We have a gluten-free dough when it comes to pizzas. Many items on our menu are gluten-free or vegetarian or in some cases vegan. So still, vegan's a tough, sort of in an Italian restaurant, vegan's sort of a tough play, but we always make sure that we have a couple options for everyone.
Signature drinks, because I had a chance to try some of that too.
Yeah, so right now we're working with, we love Malfi products, Malfi gin out of Italy. And so we're doing some Amalfi gin, limoni spritzes. We do of course, the Aperol spritz. We do an Averna, Campari, Negroni with Prosecco. Uh, we do a Hugo, which is a Prosecco, elderflower, mint is sort of like a mojito, Italian style. We do spicy margarita using Italian flavorings and liquors. And then we have an extensive wine by the glass and by the bottle list from all ranges, and everybody's comfortable looking at it, and it's fair value. And servers are very knowledgeable about the wine and cocktails. And so it's a broad scope. We do have a steak on the menu now. It's a 12-ounce ribeye because we had a lot of response from customers that return on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. To add protein, we're putting on a couple different fish as we go. We're doing snappers and John Dory, and so just to have a meat and a fish and a bunch of pastas, a lot of pizzas, some great salads, some burrata, fig and prosciutto salad, which is stunning, burrata, which we fly in on a weekly basis on Wednesdays. So we try to find ingredients that are real, legit Italian, and stick to them. The wine list is completely Italian. There's no other regions on the list. Just trying to be true to Italian food and Italian regions, and keep it very simple.
And of course, great desserts too, man.
Yes, yes. We just added a deconstructed cheesecake with lemon and beautiful graham cracker hazelnut crust, as well as a beautiful flourless chocolate cake. We do the traditional tiramisu, but very light and fluffy. And sometimes it could be a little bit liquory and coffee flavored. So this is just sort of a light, fluffy dessert. And then we love using, our limoncellos, and found some great ones out of Sicily. And then we have a digestivo menu with a lot of amaros and grappas and liqueurs that are, Italian-based liqueurs.
Everything sounds very tasty. I
Yeah,
know it is delicious.
it's great.
So people are seeing this and they're going, okay, so again, where exactly is this, and when does it open? From what to what? What days, times?
Sure. So we're 577 College Street, so west of Bathurst, just before Clinton. On the south side, you won't miss our facade. It's a very modern, unique, and beautiful facade to our building. And we open right now Wednesdays through Saturdays at 5 p.m. Kitchen
It's
goes late into the weekends, about 10:30 in the weekends.
walk-ins, or should we set up reservations?
Look, we love reservations. It just gives us an opportunity to manage our staffing, to make sure that we have ample staff for the evening. And but we do walk-ins. We have a host on the street that likes to greet people and walk them through, whether they're eating there or not, but to show them for another occasion. Not everybody's coming to our place on College Street, but we usually are able to show them at least our interior and our back patio, and get them back on another occasion.
And they are extremely polite too. They didn't know I was actually coming there. They were amazing how they spoke with me too.
That's great.
Website, sir. Where do we go to get all our information?
Quadro Ristorante.com.
Tony, I'm coming back. You know that,
Yeah,
right? Especially
yeah.
now when you're talking about the pizzas. I was just like, yeah, we got to get back for that.
Yeah, people do quote a lot that it's one of the finest pizzas in the city, or that they've ever had. So we keep trying to make it better and perfect it, and we think we got it very close, and continue to listen to the client, and evolve the property as required.
Tony, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for giving me a great birthday celebration. Cannot wait to return, and cannot wait to see what you guys are going to be doing in the future. And I know it's going to be a hot destination spot when the Toronto International Film Festival kicks into September. It's going to be the place to be. Again, my
Great.
friend, thank you so much.
Nice to see you, Rudy. Have a nice long weekend.